Good morning, Brian Johnson. Talking this morning about an email request I got to explain the water level and explain a little bit about the concepts that we've discussed in the thread. As it's a complicated subject, but first of all, I'd like to point out that the water level calculated in the spreadsheet is totally different to the water level calculated on the MetaTrader 4. The reason why this was due to input feed on the restriction in the data feed, in direct data feed. If you click on here, you can see the water level was calculated from G15, which is the 5-day moving average, the 7 and the 22. It's a pity it couldn't have included the 34. Maybe it can now with the latest data feeds coming in, because this is only calculated on the 3, and of course the water level is totally different on the MetaTrader 4, which is more accurate. It was calculated, I believe, very similar to the water level on AMI Broker. We have to drag this over from one screen into this screen. I run two screens, and you see it was calculated over the 5, 7, 22 and 80 day, which was the water level mark. So the water level is different, but basically the strategy of rollover looks at a weight of evidence, and we'll talk about a couple of quick concepts. The concept here is that if the 5 and the 7 is crossing over and the 22, you have the ideal situation where the weight of evidence of 6 of these are in the green, fully in green. The strategy is showing that before the rollover payout period, which is in America on Wednesday and Australia on Thursday at roughly 1700 hours Great GMT time. So if you're buying in for the rollover, you want to sell out before that time, because after the rollovers comes to bear, it generally drops away, and then the money drops away. So you have a huge run up. So if the weight of evidence is 6 of these are in the green, in particularly down here as well, it's a great time to go into it. Now I just want to talk about a little bit quickly about scalping, because some people are interested in it. I was speaking to Walter Pip, who's done such great work, as well as World Freedom and TS. World Freedom, of course, is Eric and Tsinke. Now, sorry on the pronunciations of the names, but that's how I pronounce it. Okay, this is great information here, and I think World Freedom and Tsinke can do a lot more and probably do a video later. But in the day, it's identifying that there's a 35 pip trading range in the low trading period of the day, and 26 here, which is about right. So these figures are pretty good. Good information in scalping. Now, the reason I mention this is in scalping, there was an indicator called the squeeze that I developed, and a couple of years ago it's been published in plenty of places. And today it's used quite extensively because it's based on the Keltner-Bollinger cross and showing the periods of inactivity. So the periods you don't want to be traded. I sent the formula to Walter the other day, but people are interested in it. They maybe can convert it into MetaTrader 4 format, and for scalping it's handy little information. That's enough on this basic spreadsheet, and we're going to quickly, due to the time and the amount of megabytes this takes up, the weight of evidence in the thing, we've discussed it on the spreadsheet, that you should have a majority of the weight of evidence, and the spreadsheet also tells you at the moment, and which is great on the spreadsheet, the power of 9 is showing no indication of trend change. It's showing it here, it's showing it here, that there could be a trend change on the Great British Pound US Dollar, We can confirm it back here. Great British Pound, US dollar. Okay, there was the trend change coming in. You can see it here. It's on the 5, 7 and 22. It's starting to go up. It hasn't crossed yet. And you're looking here that the power of 9 is suggesting that. But at the moment, in confirmation with, we got to open this up here. Yeah, it's green. So we got one confirmation. We got two confirmations. We got three confirmations that there could be a little trend change coming in here, and we like to use the weight of evidence. You notice here that it's still red until it crosses here, and also the RSI hasn't crossed yet. So, but there is an indication of a trend change, but we haven't got the final confirmation as yet on our chart. Now, we always like to buy below the water level, and this is what this video really is about, is this 1.98. It's below the daily and it's below the hourly. And it meets one condition, except it hasn't quite gone into the next condition, but we're looking at it. Now, the average daily range is done here, and which is done over the 1, 5, 10 and 20. Once again, it's a low restriction trading range, and it's, of course, the one way of looking at it is looking at the daily trading range. Is it going down or is it going up? And you see here that the daily trading range on this is going down. Let's look at the Great British Pound JPY. The average is 427, but it's certainly starting, I think, a slight down. Once again, this is not as accurate as having the 22 and the 80 day, which would be nice. Now, there is one other thing I would like to mention, that quickly, if you later on, we're going to talk, and another strategy I'm bringing into part is coming up later on, and I think on the charts you'll need the you will need the 200-day average, but that's for a different strategy, and we shouldn't talk about it just yet, as it is an exciting thing that I'm trialing live. So at the moment, we're looking at water levels, definitely buying below the water levels. We're looking at a weight of evidence before you go into your trade, which way the trend's likely to go. Confirmation here. You got confirmations here, and you got confirmation here. See that it's gone into the green. So there is a confirmation here. If this RSI had started to go up, you'd have a very good, and of course, the candles you have here. So the weight of evidence in trading the rollover should be always on your side. In other words, the weight of evidence is go, and then you should go. The rollover can bring big money. Now, we talked once again quickly on scalping. Here's your range. If you're scalping on the quiet times outside the high volatility range, in scalping, of course, you have these figures here. The same thing applies in scalping. You can use hedging as well as the scalping, but if you're using the hedging, you can see that you got a 71 against a 35 pip hedge, which will give you a certain advantage in the right hours. And we're looking at the pip spread, so that always the pip spread is in your favor. Okay, that's about enough for today. I hope that just gives you a broad run over of the water level prices and a few quick concepts. Good morning. Have a happy Easter from Brian Johnston.